Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for joining this session on the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga. We are continuing. Just before we dive deep from 7th chapter to 12th chapter is called Bhakti Yoga. But before that, we are going into Dhyana Yoga, and Krishna will end up defining who's a yogi, who's a proper yogi, and the topmost yogi. Okay, what is yoga? Who's a yogi? And the topmost yoga. So 6th chapter, you remember, this is the primary aspect. Dhyana Yoga is a topic. So who's a yogi? So what yogi actually means? And second, characteristics of a yogi. And last, yoginam api sarvesham madgatirandaram. We'll see that how of all the yogis, the Bhakti yogi who's with the service to the Supreme Lord is the topmost yogi. Like this, he's going to conclude, and then from there takes to Bhakti Yoga. So Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapters take one to Bhakti Yoga. It talks about Karma Yoga, little bit, very little Jnana Yoga, and then Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga. Then primarily 7 to 12 chapters are about Bhakti Yoga. Then again Jnana Yoga comes, and of course Bhakti is there in all the chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Little bit he is introducing, but anyway he is rejecting. Krishna also is rejecting, Arjuna is also rejecting other processes. This is how the Bhagavad Gita is framed. So it's like a sandwich. All the juice is in the center. The juicy portion is in the center, 7 to 12. So direct Bhakti Yoga will be addressed in 7th to 12th chapter. Okay. Now, sharing this. Yes. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 4. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engage in fruitive activities. See, there are things. Here, a person is said to be elevated in yoga. So there is yoga, we saw Yoga Rudha, Yoga Rurukshu. We saw that the advanced yogi is said to be elevated only when he has renounced all the material desire. So it's so difficult to renounce the material desire. Some desire or other will be surely there. Even one of our devotees expressed that desires, it's very difficult, only by mercy of Krishna desire will go. No. Very simple method. Not like, Krishna, please remove all my desires, praying like that. No, wrong. That is not the way you go through it. But using everything for Krishna is automatically your interest for sense gratification, material desire will go. So here, renouncing material desire, qualification number 1, elevated yogi, okay? Second, he neither acts for sense gratification. The action is not for his own sense gratification. The third, he doesn't engage in fruitive activities. In future, I'll get fruit. What is the difference between sense gratification and fruitive activities? Fruit means phala. Phala means the fruit will come later. The seed is sown now. So some people perform punya karma for future results. So neither he immediately desires sense gratification, nor he desires some sense gratification in future. For that he is accumulating some punya karma. No. Neither he has material desire. How this is possible? With great endeavor, the yogi will do this. First, he has to control the senses by yoga, niyama, dharana, something, pranayama. All these things he do, and very slowly the mind will come in control. And after that, very, very difficult process. But devotee, simply engaging everything in Krishna, immediately is out of all these things. So that is what is explained in the purport by Prabhupada. When a person is fully engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself. Atma Ramascha Muniyo Nirgranti Api Urukrami. So Atma Rama means the one who is satisfied in himself. So the Lord is naturally satisfied in himself. So Lord is called Atma Rama. And the devotees, when they serve the Supreme Lord, they are part and parcel. When the root is poured water, automatically the other leaves and branches become healthy. When the stomach is given food, automatically the limbs of the body are healthy. Same way, we as persons become very satisfied when we serve Krishna. Because we are pouring water to the root and automatically we get nourished. It is truth. So when a person fully engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord, he is automatically pleased in himself. Thus, he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or fruitive activities. So automatically, otherwise, if he doesn't follow this transcendental loving service, not simply serve God, serve Krishna, lovingly serve Krishna. So Prabhupada directly uses the word loving service. It's very, very important. When you perform the service, it should be with love. Love and devotion. Both are essential. Not, oh, you serve Lord because it's according to rules, you need to offer and take only prasadam. So throw the plate in front of the Lord. No. With great love and affection, that offering has to be made. Not that I like that, I like this, so I will somehow use the Lord as like a ATM machine which throws the money out. Like that, the God will give me prasadam. So either I'm around the temple so that I get prasadam, or at home also I just want the God to be in my altar so that I get prasadam. But I really love him, so I cook for him, and whatever he gives as remnant, I'll take it. So that loving service is very essential. Okay, let us take, if he is not doing loving service, what will happen? Prabhupada is mentioning. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification naturally, since he cannot live without engagement. Some work we need to do. And without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, thereby perfectly detached from sense gratification. So this is the way to detach from sense gratification. Even mind control, we'll see a proper methodology of controlling mind. Now, simply observe the mind in Krishna and that's it, finished. You're in mind control. Finished. People cannot digest this fact that no, a hard process should be there for sense control. Hard process should be there for mind control. No, sorry. Naturally, you can easily do it because naturally you're part and parcel of Krishna. So one who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape. So, but a Krishna conscious person is do everything the satisfaction of Krishna, thereby automatically detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of yoga ladder. So if somebody has to go to the advanced yoga ladder, they have to very, very much endure without God, without Krishna. But when somebody is in Krishna consciousness, they are already situated in the highest ladder, Bhakti Yoga. Okay. The next verse is, one must deliver himself with the help of his mind. This is very important. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind. Not the mind is the complete thing, but mind will help. And not degrade himself. The mind should be helping friend. It should not be enemy. So the mind is a friend of the conditioned soul and also enemy as well. Very important verse. Very, very important verse. The controlled mind is the best friend. Uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy. People talk about controlling the mind, control. Why? Because they are having enemy with them. They are having enemy. So the enemy can be easily made friend. Very easily made friend by the guidance of the spiritual master. So the word Atma. So here in the sloka, the mind also is considered, use the word Atma, Atma, Atma. That is why Prabhupada generally doesn't use the word Atma to represent the soul. Generally, Mayavadi philosophers maximum use the word Atma only. But whereas Prabhupada maximum uses the word Jiva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses the word Jiva, which exclusively mentions the spirit soul. This Jiva is the word. But even though Atma is the Bhagavad Gita's regular term, and also in Vedas, many places is mentioned, some places Atma means me. So some places Atma is also to represent mind. Atma word is also representing body, like that certain places. So there is possibility of confusion. So depending upon different circumstances, in this verse, with the help of the mind, if you see the sloka, udaret atmanatmanam natmanam avashishyata atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah. How many atmas are there? So udaret atmana. So there is by mind. So this atmana represents the mind. Atmanam, the conditioned soul. So Atma also mentions the conditioned soul, not an elaborated. Na Atmanam. That is why we don't dive into Sanskrit, and as devotees, we don't read Sanskrit. Because if we read Sanskrit, we may find fault with the Acharya himself saying that no, Atma means soul, the soul is liberated by soul like this, soul like this. So, but Acharya will have a clear vision of all the scriptures. When one has read all the scriptures, his vision is very, very big. And from that understanding, apart from that, he is a pure devotee of Krishna and he is revealed based on that understanding. He has properly translated and given. So that is why we directly go and read the translation. Our translation and purport has more importance than sloka and Sanskrit. We are not much interested because Prabhupada, what did he do day and night? Prabhupada gave us these books, Prabhupada gave us these books, but I am reading Sanskrit. What is this bogusness? What is this bogus surrender to Prabhupada? It's a bogus. Why? Because Prabhupada, day and night, what is the only job he did? The Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. Who translated Mahabharata? Who gave us, not translated, compiled Mahabharata? Is Veda Vyas. Already Vyasadeva was given. Nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion, everything is written by Rupa Goswami and all. Prabhupada never wrote. You read Prabhupada's books. No, Prabhupada never wrote any book. Sorry. Prabhupada translated Vedic literatures. He purported. He gave purports. So we say read Srila Prabhupada's purports. So even though we just casually we say Srila Prabhupada's books, but basically if you see, it is either the Bhagavad Gita, which is part of Mahabharata, which is written by Vyasadeva, compiled by Vyasadeva. Other books, you take any books, Brahma Samhita, already, actually Brahma Samhita is not translated by Prabhupada, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So translation is what, and purport is what Prabhupada has given us. So day and night, what he did translation. And if you again go back to Sanskrit, what does it mean? And you will have doubt. That is why so beautifully here you see Prabhupada, he himself is revealing the word Atma denotes the body, mind and soul in the sloka. So one must deliver himself with the help of his mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and the enemy as well. As simple translation and straightforward translation as it is. But if a person is going and reading this, Udaret Atmana Atmanam Na Atmanam Avashishyate Atma Eva Hi Atmana. Like this, Atma, 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 Atma everywhere. Atma, last is Atma of the conditioned soul is there. Here Atma is mentioned as mind. And if you see Atmanaha, conditioned soul, and here Atma is mentioned as mind. Atmanam, conditioned soul. Atmanam, the conditioned soul, in this way. So, this is the speciality. We just need to sit. We cannot read Sanskrit. Nobody read it. And so, Srila Prabhupada gave Bhagavad Gita translation to us so that we can read the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And when we go back again and dig it without faith, then in Sanskrit, then it's play around. Nahi nahi rakshati, and that will never come to save us. It will degrade us. So that is the word. So the word Atma denotes body, mind and soul, depending upon different circumstances. How nicely is explained. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. So in this too, Atma is used, mind and conditioned soul. Sometimes we'll see the Atma is used even for the body word in certain slokas. Since the mind is the central point of the yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. So in the yoga practice, mystic yoga practice primarily ends in dhyana. Dhyana means what? In the mind, trying to connect with Paramatma. Later, after establishing the connection, act according to the instruction of Paramatma. That's all. This is the ultimate result of dhyana yoga. So mind is the primary aspect. Controlling the mind. First control the senses, then control the mind, and then connect the mind and start meditating on Paramatma. So the purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind. So what is the yoga system? To control the mind. Not Bhakti yoga, the general Ashtanga Siddhi yoga system. Our purpose of yoga, Bhakti yoga, is to attain Krishna Prema. Whereas the many people, we can see that even as devotees, when they join in, the youth and all are practiced, preached. Oh, why should I chant Hare Krishna? It will give you mind control. Mind control, mind control. Controlling the mind is the primary aspect of their following Krishna consciousness. But here, the Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga's process is to control the mind. and to draw it away attachment of the sense object. So this is not Bhakti Yoga's purpose, it is the Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga's purpose. So it is stretched, but this also is fulfilled in Bhakti Yoga. It is not that it is left out, it is automatically fulfilled in Bhakti Yoga. So it is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained it can deliver the conditioned soul. So the mind can easily deliver the conditioned soul from the knee signs, or the mind can degrade him and make him conditioned more and more. So in the material existence, one is subjected to the influence of mind and senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with false ego, which it desires to lord it over the material nature. We saw one ladder in fifth, I don't know, if possible, I'll show you today how it works. I should have, okay. We can see the picture or slide of this tomorrow. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over the material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted to glitter. So the mind has to be trained. Now the question is how to train the mind comes later. So that the aim is to not get attracted by the glitters of the material nature, and in this way the conditioned soul may be saved. So one should not degrade oneself by the attraction to the sense object. So we saw one ladder in the third chapter end. I showed you one ladder in which the whole world is there in front of the senses. There are songs for the ears. There are so many beautiful things for the eyes. There is nice smell in the world, nice food, primarily food. Various varieties of foods are available in the world. Like this for senses, the whole shop is open. The senses inform this to the mind, and the mind informs to the intelligence, and the intelligence informs to the soul. Let us act in this way and make a decision. The soul agrees by his own free will because the soul is bewildered because of the false ego, thinking it is the body, the intelligence also. But when a spiritual master comes, he informs that no, you're not the body, you're in spirit soul. Then the intelligence will start thinking for the welfare of the spirit soul instead. Now comes how to train the mind. The mind and the senses are anyway, if the mind is keep on instructing, the senses will act according to the instruction of the mind. So this body is considered like a chariot, and five senses like five horses, and the ropes are the mind, and the driver is the intelligence, and the owner who is sitting is the two birds are sitting, like owner is the spirit soul. Also there is Paramatma. In this chapter, Paramatma is introduced. Earlier in third chapter, Paramatma was not introduced. Only the soul is introduced. So in that chariot, it is going, the false ego keeps on informing that you're the body, you're the body, you're the body, you're the body, you're the body. Then he likes to see some items. Oh, such a nice, beautiful ice cream. I'll take it. And this is nice. That I'll take it. I'll take it. Like this, the senses keep informing. The mind says, intelligence, you're the body only. You need to nourish yourself. Okay, take it, take it. Like this, you enjoy yourself. But later, when the information comes, no, you're not the body, a spirit soul. That is okay. Even if I'm a spirit soul, what am I supposed to do? Then we know that Supreme Lord is also getting involved. Then the interest for sense gratification changes, and then the Atma will instruct the intelligence will instruct the mind will instruct the senses. So it works other way around. So the mind is the central point here. It connects the senses with the intelligence and the soul. So because the central point, it's very important that it stays under control. Like when there is a driver, a single driver is sitting in the chariot, but five horses, powerful horses are there, and five ropes are there. He has to control the rope properly. If he is letting loose the rope, naturally each of the horses will run in each direction, and the chariot will go upside down. That is what is happening with the materialistic people. So one should not degrade. We can degrade or we can upgrade. So it is up to us in the material existence. So this point is emphasized by using the word mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha moksha. See, the mind is the only thing. That is the reason for either bandha or moksha. Bandha means bondage. Moksha means liberation. For bondage and liberation, the mind can help either to bind yourself or to liberate yourself. It's a jada prakriti. It cannot act on its own. It's like a machine. It has to be trained. That's all. So the art of training the mind is there in Krishna consciousness. For a man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is cause of liberation. So there is one thing, mantra. We are chanting every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are chanting every day, and spiritual master doesn't ask such serious promise other than simply to chant. Simply to chant Hare Krishna mantra. He doesn't inform you, oh, it will control the mind, this, that, nothing nitty gritty. You just chant 16 rounds, yes? Okay, then I'll give you initiation. Of course, the regulative principle is human being. To be a human being, you should follow regulative principle. Basic, very basic. It is not, oh, you'll get Krishna Prem by following regulative principle. No, by chanting Hare Krishna, you'll get Krishna Prem, not by regulative principle. Regulative principle is to stop the disturbances which are coming. Due to breaking of the regulative principle, you cannot chant the 16 rounds properly. So it will create hurdles. So in order to save you from the your own hurdles, the four regulative principles are introduced. But primarily, chanting 16 rounds is the main point. Mantra. So Maha Mantra. Man means mind. Tra means control. Tra means more than control. Actually, it's systematically working, we can say. So the by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra casually, not like sit like a dhyana and do it. No, like we see Prabhupada in the videos, we can see Prabhupada's videos how he's chanting. He's just chanting casually, like that we chant, and nicely, clearly, every syllable we see that it's pronouncing. Then the mind automatically will get liberated. So for a man, mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Bandaya Vishaya Sango Muktiyai Nirvishayam Mana. So the mind, when it is causes bondage, when it is attached to sense object, when it is detached from sense object, the mind becomes liberated. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, see Prabhupada, he nailed it. He won't stop it there. He won't give improper information. Or if he is translating the sloka, he can just like that translate. There is nothing about Krishna consciousness in this sloka. Like Veda, many slokas are like this. The mind is the cause of bondage, the mind is the cause of liberation. The mind which is engaged in sense gratification is the cause of bondage. The mind which is detached from sense gratification is the cause of liberation. Oh, then everybody will think, okay, I have to get detached from my sense object. I'll not look at this. I'll not look at that. I'll not look at that cinema poster. I'll not look at that girl. I won't look at that eatery. I won't look at that masala vada. Like this, we don't look at it, or we don't see to that the senses are not smelling it, ignoring, and trying to control, like forcefully or mechanically, as mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, mechanically. This is not going to help. So if you try to practically apply scriptures without the teaching of acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, then you'll end up with this. But here, Prabhupada is giving a nail means the finishing touch. Prabhupada is giving after the sloka translation, Amrita Bandhu Upanishad. Why Vedavyas is dissatisfied after writing Veda, we can understand here. See the sloka and see the translation. And see the touch of Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. When you're staying in this material world, how can you be out of material object? How can you be detached from sense object? You will have to touch it. You have to touch it. Your mind will think about it. Oh, it's mango season. Your mind will think about it. But as a devotee, you're very well trained. You'll immediately, okay, I'll offer and take prasadam. So you're immediately going to give it to Krishna. Or you're going to take first 1 kg, newly it has come here. Oh, mango season has started. Let us take 1 kg to the temple. Immediately you will have that interest. Because you're really attached to the temple and the deities. Then you will take 1 kg to the temple. And then after that, you'll start buying and offering to the deities at home or photographs at home, and you'll start having it. So naturally, your interest for personal sense gratification is gone because you are thinking of Krishna. This we are getting trained in this beautiful Krishna conscious movement, which is set up by Srila Prabhupada. We are constantly being trained how to engage the mind in Krishna consciousness, not by I will engage my mind in Krishna. They're like a yogi. No, casually. We love the temple. We have some 4 or 5 devotees. Hey, let's offer and then we'll take mangoes. Then immediately you'll take and offer it in the altar, and nicely all 4 or 5 of you will sit Chaturvida Sri Bhagavat Prasado Swadanna Triptan Haribhakta Sangan. Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. So, what is the glorification of Guru in the Guru Ashtakam we are singing in the morning in Mangalarti? That is the primary aspect actually of Mangalarti, is singing that song. Everything else comes next. So, what is that? Chaturvidasri Bhagavat Prasado. There are various kinds. Primarily four. There are many different, like chewing, like swallowing, gulping, biting, like pakoda and all. You bite, like snacks. And some things you just swallow, like gulab jamun, just swallow. So in this way, and taste also are there, like bitter taste, sweet taste, like that. So Chaturvidasri Bhagavat Prasado Swadanna Triptan Haribhakta Sangan. With the Haribhakta Sangha, I am sitting and various varieties of Krishna Prasadam, Bhagavat Prasado, I am sitting and taking the association of devotees. This is the way we control the senses. So Guru Maharaj and other Jananivas Prabhu and Panajani Prabhu, they three, one time we were there during Parikrama time. So in the evenings, they used to, many devotees come, and Guru Maharaj every day comes and sits with us, and only very less number of devotees will be there. Those days, I'm telling, year 2000 and all, those initial 2000 and all. That time, very less number of devotees. After the Parikrama, everybody will be very tired, long walk and all. So they'll be washing clothes and all that. So then we used to come and sit, and maybe 40, 50, 60, 40, 50 people. That's all. So they will exchange their realizations. So one time they told there is a very big yogi and a yogini, and some people who practice very strong yoga. They have come to ISKCON Mayapur. So everybody is welcome. So Guru Maharaj very happily welcomed them and all. So they were made to sit, and Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajangir Prabhu, small young boys. Guru Maharaj only trained them in everything. In yajnas and pujas, everything Guru Maharaj trained them. Of course, Prabhupada also trained them. But at those days, so many deities were not there. When Prabhupada was there, only small Radha Madhav and Gauranga Mahaprabhu was there. Big deities were established after Prabhupada disappeared. So the big deity training was given only by Guru Maharaj to the entire world. So he is the main person. He was Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he and some people were there. And then later only Guru Maharaj was there. Everybody somehow or other, they were not there. So Guru Maharaj was already given by Srila Prabhupada this place. So we were telling that when the yogis came, then they served chapati. So the roti was served, and they were okay, no problem. Then the dal is about to come. Before that, the rotis had ghee on top of it, because Guru Maharaj told them, give them directly the deity's prasadam, because they are already yogis, so they can very quickly progress and get into this process of devotional service. So they said, what? You're all taking roti with the ghee? That is sense gratification. But there was tulasi on top of it. There was roti, on top of it there was ghee, on top of it there was tulsi. So first they said, okay, you're eating roti, we also take roti, no problem. Simple roti dal we take. Roti dal sabji. Okay, fine. Roti dal sabji was given. Then they said, oh, on top of roti there's ghee. Is it all right? You're into sense gratification, no? So there was tulsi. Then immediately Guru Maharaj said that is offered to Krishna. So Krishna is offered ghee. He's tending so many cows. Why can't he take ghee? So Krishna is taking ghee, and there is tulsi on it, and it is offered to Krishna. And then that Mahaprasadam we are taking. Someday we may get a roti with ghee, someday we may get a roti without ghee. That is different. So why not Krishna enjoy? And I eat the remnants which Krishna. I am Krishna Das. Ami Krishna Das. What is your identity? If somebody asks, who are you? I am soul. I am not the body. So naked. I am Krishna Das first. Whether I am body or soul, everything. I am Krishna Das. My realization I am the spirit soul may come later. But of course, I am spirit soul. I am not the body. I am spirit soul. I am Dasa of Krishna. Part and parcel of Krishna. So this is the identity. Mamaivam-so jivaloke jivaputa sanatana. So therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness, is the cause of supreme liberation. And Prabhupada again and again makes us in beautiful institution is created where systematically we can keep on be engaged in Krishna conscious activity rather than sitting in a corner and thinking how to control my mind, how to engage, it's like this, how to control my senses. Instead of that, become busy in Krishna consciousness. Now Rath Yatra is happening. Most of the temple will be very busy in Rath Yatra services. And we can nicely get engaged in Krishna consciousness. So many beautiful services are there, unlimited services are there. Wherever we are, now all of you are coming and attending these classes. And so we just engage. That's all simple, as much as possible. Oh, where am I? Why did I go here? Okay. Now, the sixth verse is, for him who has conquered the mind is the best friends. But who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So everybody is talking about how to control mind and how to control. So here Prabhupada gives the answer. Now Krishna gives almost like a puzzle. Krishna is giving, for whom who has conquered the mind is the best friend. But for one who has failed to do so, the mind will remain his greatest enemy. Now everybody knows why it's an enemy. Why every youth is behind mind control, because we know they have that dirty thoughts going on in their mind. This is obvious. Now how to control it? Don't bring beautiful thoughts. Don't bring good thoughts. Bring Krishna only. Krishna Surya Sama Maya Haya Antakar. Jahan Krishna Vaha Nahi Maya Radhikar. Oh, how to escape Maya and run away from Maya. No. Go towards Krishna, you are moving away from Maya. That is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Be conscious of Krishna. So everything should be centered around you. No philosophy without God. No devotion without God. So without Krishna, absolutely there's nothing. Krishna consciousness around Krishna. Okay. So the purport Prabhupada is mentioning about first the purpose of practice. The purpose of the practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind and to make it friend in discharging human mission. This guy has to do dhyana. Okay. This guy has to do mind dedication of mind. So there is a very in South India, international famous yoga guru is there, meditation guru. So when you go to his organization, I'm from my place basically. So when you go to his place, they'll give very sattvic food, they'll give without onion garlic, but it's not offered to Krishna. Why? And very basic, very simple, and they'll see to that your body is feeling light because you need to do so many exercises, and so that you don't feel sleepy or hungry or thirsty. So they keep you fit, very thin and fit. And then why? And it'll make you do so many exercises. And after that, they'll ask you to sit in the yoga dhyana once you have developed a little bit. So unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga is simply a waste of time. Beautiful this is. The mind has to be controlled. So I know my friends also, they go to yoga classes. Earlier, in company in which I was in, they had the yoga sessions as an additional value addition for the employees. So there used to be yoga sessions. When anybody wants to go, they can go for the breathing process, pranayama and all. So they used to do. So and they will be sitting in the hall and they'll be doing yoga or they'll be doing meditation. You leave the yoga, which is a bodily exercise. Most of the diabetic patients do it in the morning. What is yoga in India? Yoga is some exercises to keep your body fit and generally practiced by diabetic patient or the elder, somebody older than 50, in order to keep their body fit, they do. Retired people do that. Like this only they give the definition. But here, Prabhupada is telling that the practice of yoga, and when the person is practicing, doing either yoga or when he's doing dhyana, meditation, this meditation, I'm awakening my Kundali Sakti and I'll take it to the head and all that from the stomach and they'll all sit like that. Okay, fine. You're sitting in like that in the hall. Somebody is practicing. All of you try this also. It's a comedy show only. You do that. If the phone bell is ringing or the doorbell is ringing, will you hear it or not? Certainly you will hear, but you will ignore, which actually means your mind is not under control. The mind will be thinking, who's ringing the bell? Maybe some emergency, why I should not open. The phone call may be from my office, or it may be some emergency phone call. Am I missing it? Like this, your mind will think, but still I should ignore because I'm doing meditation. In this way, the mind is naturally thinking about that other activity only, it is not controlled. So Prabhupada is telling simply waste of time. Anybody who is trying to do in Kali Yuga, it is impossible to practice yoga and also dhyana. Both are impractical. In Kali Yuga, totally impossible. Whereas Arjuna is rejecting in Dwapara Yuga itself. So one who cannot control his... So here, the mind control is not there. See, when the phone rings, you know. You know, but you ignore. So any advanced yogi also you ask. So my colleagues, I used to ask, do you hear? If somebody thinks, yeah, we hear, but some of my friends, they are close, so they are opening up. Otherwise, people say, no, I went into deep meditation. I saw this, I saw that, blabber in order to market themselves. But truthfully, if somebody genuinely, if somebody shares their experience, they'll know that actually they are conscious of things outside. They're not able to bring the mind in control. It's simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy. So they are, okay, which actually means they didn't control the mind. That means whom are they living? They are living with the greatest enemy. The greatest enemy is the reason for bandha or liberation. Bandha. Bondage or liberation. Previous sloka said that the mind becomes the enemy, then the enemy will make you bondage. Whereas when the mind is controlled, it becomes a friend, then it helps you in liberate. So there's no liberation only, there's bondage. Thus his life's mission is spoiled. Externally, he may show off to others as if he is sitting continuously 2 hours, 3 hours, but it's waste of time. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. So as long as one's mind remains as an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictation of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, everything. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the direction of personality of God. So let us take, if the mind is conquered, then very nicely it will listen to Paramatma. So who ultimately, if you see Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga also, realizing Paramatma is the goal of Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. So the Paramatma is easily attained. Means connection with Paramatma, who is situated within the heart. And then get the dictation of the personality of God. So two people can dictate you. Either the mind can dictate you, so serve the dictation. The mind remains as an unconquered enemy, and the mind will give you lust, greed, envy, anger, all these things it will. But when the mind is controlled, it will take the dictation, but not from the senses and sense object, but through the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart. Everyone has Paramatma. So the real yoga practice entails meeting Paramatma within the heart. See, Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga, what is the purpose of Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga or Dhyana Yoga? Is to meet the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. First we will meet him and then follow him. This is the Ashtanga Siddhi Yoga, but this is very easily attained by a devotee who is directly approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whereas Paramatma is a plenary expansion of Krishna. The last expansion, we can see if there is a tree, the root, where is the root and where is the leaf? So the Paramatma is in every atom and everybody's heart, like the last expansion. But is the expansion of Kshirodhara Sai Vishnu. Kshirodhara Sai Vishnu is the expansion of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu or Garbhodara Sai Vishnu. Garbhodara Sai Vishnu is the expansion of Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the expansion of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha from Narayana. Narayana is the expansion of Chaturvyuga Vasudeva. And Chaturvyuga is previously expanded from Vasudeva. And for another Narayana is there. Then there is 2 quadruple expansions. Then Balram. Balram is an expansion of Krishna. In this way, expansion. So the Paramatma is the last, but at least in the material world, they are trying to communicate with him and they are trying to meet with him and then take the dictation from him for living. So one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the day. But we are directly approaching the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, who is living in Goloka, whose plenary expansion is Paramatma. So one who takes Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord, is automatically following. Prema Bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jaite. Divya Gyan hriday prakashito. So Supreme Lord will dictate a devotee. Perfect surrender. Just take for the surrender. Surrendering to Krishna is nothing but surrendering to Guru. So when one surrenders to Guru, automatically surrenders to Krishna happens. So in this way, one who has conquered the mind. So we should be the comparison of Dhyana Yoga, and at the same time, the comparison of Dhyana Yoga and the Bhakti Yoga is happening, made by Prabhupada in every purport. But basically, it's the explanation of Dhyana Yoga. Okay. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor, everything is seen. Very, very puzzling if you read that sloka. And translation is very puzzling. But when you read the purport, it's so visible like sunlight. So if I say to a man, the person has conquered the mind, okay, conquering mind, and super soul is already reached. Now what will happen to him? He is in neutral position. Such a man, happiness, distress, heat, cold, honor, dishonor are all the same. Sidoshna Sugadukata Agama Payino Anitya Stam Stitikshasva Bharata Titikshava Arjava. We'll see that already we saw that in the second chapter. Second chapter we saw that a person will not be affected. You don't get affected by somebody's death or something like that. So how should I be like a stone? Should I control? So whenever you think leaving Krishna consciousness and you think everything is bewilderment or confusing, that is how the Mayavadis, impersonalist yogis, they are so confused in philosophy. They are not so very clear at all because they want to try to understand it without Krishna consciousness. But when you add Krishna consciousness, everything is clear like sunlight. So actually, a living entity is indented. Actually, the overall idea is the living entity is intended to abide by the dictation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So Paramatma will guide the Atma. Atma will guide the intelligence. Intelligence will guide the mind. The mind will guide the senses, and thus the body functions properly. This is a proper person's way to execute in this material world. But when the mind is misled by the external energy, one becomes entangled in material activities. So mind is controlled through one of the yoga systems. So when the mind is misled by illusory energy, Maya, one becomes material world is the big shopping complex. You can go and pick up whatever you want. Of course, there is Sravanam Kirtanam also available. You can pick up that also right now. We have Acharya Parampara very active. So very nicely we can pick up those things. So otherwise, you see what are all the varieties the whole world is providing. Unlimited sense gratification. Therefore, as soon as one's mind is controlled through any one of the yoga systems, so the yoga systems, all the yoga systems result in mind control. One should be considered to have already reached the destination, means connection with Paramatma. Now, one has to abide by the superior dictation. When one's mind is, this on 18th chapter also, Krishna tells this to be one of the secret, but this is superior secret, and there is another secret beyond this secret. He is revealing secret, more secret, most secret, like this. So when one's mind is fixed in the superior nature, one has no alternative but to follow the dictation of Supreme. So Paramatma will guide us. The mind must admit the superior dictation and follow it. But as a Bhakti yogi, we don't go into this nitty-gritties. Will directly be dictated by the Supreme Lord. So the effect of controlling the mind is one automatically follows the dictation of Paramatma or Super Soul, because the mind is not keep on dictating the Atma, do this, do this, do this, let us enjoy that, let us enjoy that. The mind will keep on be instructing. Now the mind is under control, then the intelligence and soul ready to listen to the Paramatma. So because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one, so Prabhupada, see the conclusion. This transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness. The devotee of the Lord by the dualities of material existence. namely distress and happiness, cold and heat. This state is practical samadhi or absorption in supreme. See, now cold climate comes, heat climate comes, and we keep on ignoring it and keep on serving the Lord. You can see that throughout the year there are festivals. Now everybody is working day and night for Rath Yatra festival. They don't see, now it's very hot. Rainy season not started. But everybody, we see the pujari, he wakes up early in the morning. He doesn't care for the climate. Whether raining, oh, today is Sunday, holiday. It's raining outside, I don't go. It's very hot outside, I don't go to the port, wake up the deities. No, he just does that. He just, because this transcendental position is at once achieved by one who is in Krishna consciousness. A devotee of the Lord is unaffected by the dualities of material existence because his service gives such a pleasure. Such a pleasure that all this heat, cold, and all these things, happiness and distress, these are all not affecting him. Sometimes you'll see that one time we had a beautiful Janmashtami festival. Janmashtami next day, Prabhupada appearance day. We all only Janmashtami day public and all will come, but Prabhupada appearance day only devotees will be there. That too, those who come back after Janmashtami's night, midnight, 12 o'clock, Arati and Abhishek, and then Prasad. Everybody goes home at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. But the pujari is still back at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. There will be Mangalarti. Some people stay back in the temple, sleep, and then attend Mangalarti the next day. Very, very beautiful transcendental. They don't realize that, okay, there is night, and you don't even realize you're dancing so much and you don't know night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And if some materialistic person want to dance the middle of the night in the New Year's Eve in 31st December, and wish you a happy New Year, they have to drink a lot. Then only they can stay awake. And previous day itself, they'll sleep so much because they want to celebrate New Year's night. But a devotee doesn't undergo any intoxication. He's already awake very happily. And so one time we had this beautiful Prabhupada Appearance Day festival, feast and everything. And you know what? Just it started raining, drizzling outside. Beautiful drizzle. Felt like it's a mercy of Srila Prabhupada coming down. And I don't know whether it's Guru Maharaj appearance, Prabhupada appearance, if I understand correctly. And then we all danced. First, we were doing kirtan in the courtyard. It was not very sunny. It was very cloudy. So it was very mild climate. We all, Mataji's one side, Prabhuji's one side. The temple was closed. So in the front, there's a big courtyard. And so we all were dancing in that dancing. And it started drizzling. And we didn't, and it felt so good. And we just kept on dancing, kirtan, 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 and we were. So this is possible. We don't care about this climates and everything because the incident itself is giving such a pleasure that we don't want it to get terminated. Sometimes when festival finish, we feel crying. I want the festival to continue. Like when Parikrama finishes, everybody goes, and we feel very sad to leave Mayapur. So this is experienced by devotees only, not by others. So what is that called? It is called, the state is practical samadhi or absorption in supreme. That is called. So the pujaris and all, always they are absorbed in the samadhi. And the yogis have to endure so much for doing this. Very casually, a Krishna conscious devotee can do it. So this is the way to mind control. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it's a pebble, stone, or gold, as the same. But when we see, okay, we'll see the explanation which Srila Prabhupada is giving. So we may not mechanically we see like a Mayavadi, they read the Bhagavad Gita. Mayavadis read Bhagavad Gita a lot. You should know this. They read the Vedas, they also read Bhagavad Gita, they call it Gita Upanishad, and they don't use even the word Krishna. The name is not there. Because in Bhagavad Gita, so many names are there. Bhagavan Uvacha, they say that the impersonal Brahman is coming and talking. Like that. Bhagavan Uvacha is translated. And if they read this, they see everything, he sees everything, whether it's pebble, stone, or gold, as the same. Then he will really treat it. But in Krishna consciousness, we don't treat like that. When gold ornaments are there for Krishna, is somebody, then we don't treat it like pebble. We treat it valuably. We have a locker in the temple, pujari room, and in which all the gold ornaments are kept and it's locked. And very carefully they guard it. At the same time, if there is a pebble or stone, it is treated as pebble or stone only. So how do we understand this? That's why I always tell, never, never, ever you can understand Krishna consciousness by reading only translation or only getting to know the slokas or using the Sanskrit word. You can show your supremacy over others and gain some famous, become a little famous and gain popularity. That is your aim, it will happen, don't worry. But otherwise, genuine understanding is possible only by Acharya Parampara. So, oh wow, thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. So, book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. Many people, gyan, gyan, gyan. So much gyan that Prabhuji has so much knowledge. I want to listen to him. He has so much knowledge. Which book it is? Guru Maharaj, which book he is taking? Where is that book available? Mataji, do you have copy? Sometime I used to tell to some senior devotees also, kindly hear Guru Maharaj class is so amazing. Then we say that he revealed this. Oh, really, really nice, nice points. Mataji, where is this book? Which book Guru Maharaj is using? Where is that book available? So they think book knowledge without realization of the supreme truth is useless. So it is Atasri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriya sevan mukehi jibhado swayam eva spuratata. By jibha, by chanting and hearing. So no one can actually understand. Atasri Krishna Nama Adi means Krishna's name, qualities, pastimes, entourage, nothing can be understood. Na bhavet grahyam indriya, because our senses are material. With the material senses, we cannot, a wrong telescope. With material senses, you cannot see Krishna, you cannot understand Krishna, you cannot attain Krishna, communicate with him. Nothing is possible. Na bhavet, you cannot absorb, you cannot know Krishna. What and all? Krishna's name, qualities, form, pastimes. This see here, name, form, quality, pastimes of Krishna. Through this materially contaminated senses, no one can understand. No one can understand. How much ever books you have. Oh, I read that book. I know, you know, I know, you know. So this no thing is coming from knowledge. And knowledge simply gives proudness, humbly proud. I'm very humble, Prabhu, but actually they're very proud. But when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord, or the transcendental name form qualities of the pastimes are revealed to him. Beautiful verse by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is the Magap verse. This is one of the memory verses. This sloka, when you do nectar of devotion, nectar of devotion verse, this is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So Krishna is not easily achievable unless one is saturated. So there is a beautiful pastime related with this. That one time there was a Banaras Hindu University. Very famous for very, very long time it has been there. You know, Banaras means Varanasi or Kasi. So the Kasi or Varanasi, Banaras is considered to be the greatest place of Vedic learning. So this Banaras University's chief dean, the topmost chief, he wanted to have some conversation. He has heard a lot about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. So he thought, I will have some debate and conversation. Everybody's the glory of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was spreading far and wide. Gaudiya Math. Very famous. He was very famous, one of the greatest Acharya. I still remember he came to even Ooty, where we were, and my grandfather hosted him. That's why I have heard his name very much, Gaudiya Math, and the name I have heard before. But I was too small a kid, I didn't understand that time. So in this way, is a quite famous person, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, those days. So immediately, this Hindu Banaras University chief, he wanted to have spiritual discussions and various, generally, the Jnana yogis, their time is in Vivada of Vedanta. Veda and Vedanta, Vivada. They used to have conversations, they used to have discussions, debates. This is their primary time spending methods. Somebody will take like Daida, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, they'll argue in this, like this, God's qualities like this. In this book, it is written like that. That book, that has a reference there. This book, the reference is there. Like this, they used to quote and they used to argue here and there, like that. So, in missing Krishna and Krishna consciousness, they cannot find the end. There won't be any conclusion. They will disagree between each other and they will separate. This is what will happen. So he wanted to debate with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and he came. So when he came to the Gaudiya Math in order to meet him, oh, very, very nice, welcome, welcome. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur very respectfully welcomed him. Then he said that I want to ask you certain questions and I want to go through a discussion with you. So I have come here. But you see, devotees are always busy. Some people say, no, come, let us sit and relish Bhagavatam. So when we have Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, we sit. Otherwise, generally we don't. Everybody is busy with their own things. We don't sit and relish the Bhagavatam. The whole Rome was burning. And there was a king, the Rome king. He was playing guitar. And they came and they are coming and he's playing guitar and some girls are dancing. He's in the assembly and somebody's coming and telling, oh, your room, your entire kingdom is burning. Oh, is it? Like this. So the whole world is burning. At this time, my Baba, my Prema, my my liberation, my mind control, my Siddhadega. No, no time for all that. Devotees are busy in various services. So when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service of the Lord, so then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I have some work. So no, he didn't say I have some work. Certainly, whatever questions you have, I just want you to ask our pujari. You can go and ask the pujari. So he's in the puja room. You go and ask him. So he was very shocked. Why is asking Pujari? Maybe the Pujari is very, very learned personality. So he is asking me to go to the Pujari and ask him. So let me go and try it out. So he went to the Pujari. The Pujari was busy because that time Arati and Boga, everything is going to be offered right now. And then all the arrangements are being done right now. And then he was so busy that time. The Banaras University person came. I want to have some discussion and debate and with you. I have some questions. And then the Pujari said, yes, yes, all that we can discuss later. Right now, no time for all that. But I want some help. You do one thing, you just wash these vessels. Let us finish everything quickly. So what he did is, he gave puja plate. The arti has just finished. And now Boga offering is going to happen and everything. So he said, just wash this puja vessels. So immediately, the Hindu Banaras University chief, he actually washed all the puja paraphernalia. He was washing and cleaning nicely, cleanly. Like this, he was so absorbed because he wanted it to be spick and span and clean because it's all puja items. In Bengal, if you see, anywhere in the world you are having brass utensils. If you come to Bengal, if you see the puja paraphernalia, even in the small temples, you'll feel ashamed. You'll feel very bad about your cleaning abilities. It will be looking like shining. New vessels will not be as beautiful. You can see that it's old, but new vessel will not be as beautiful as that cleaned copper and brass paraphernalia of the Lord. So in this way, then he cleaned it so thoroughly and nicely and arranged and everything. And Pujari gave many, many services he was doing and doing and doing and doing. And till the Lord was put to rest, he was kept busy. Because how many ever people comes in ISKCON, there is not enough. Same way like Gaudiya, but there is not enough. How many ever people come? Yes, we can engage you in service. Come. So then engaged very busily, thoroughly. And after finishing all that, he was very happy running here and there and doing all those things. After everything was over, the Lord was put to rest and everything. After then the Pujari went to take rest. He woke up at morning 3 o'clock, 2:33. Then he went to take rest. So he thought, okay, Pujari is gone. Now what will I do? Okay, I'll go to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur again. So he went to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, yes, now you have any questions or you came with some discussion topics. The person immediately said, I have all my doubts cleared. Every doubt was cleared. And there's nothing for debating or discussion. It's all so clear for me now. Simply by engaging in service. The best example. And then he offered obeisances and he left. And he took so much siksha and instructions from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I'm not very sure whether he was initiated by him, but he was very, very close disciple, siksha disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur then onwards. So he understood that devotional service Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So when one becomes spiritually saturated by transcendental service to the Lord, or the transcendental name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Lord, all those things are revealed to him. He can see the name, form, the originality of the name. Everybody is looking Suddhanam. Some people go to Vrindavan, they will say that Siddhadega, Suddhanam, Siddhadega, Suddhanam. They'll say that. Siddhadega, they want that Siddhadega, the original spiritual body, constitutional body, that will be awarded. By seeing our sincerity, it will be awarded. Don't worry. Don't work for yourself. Just work on the instruction of Guru. That's all. Hmm? And then, oh, I'll have Suddhanam, Suddhanam. Just get involved and be surrendered to spiritual master. Things will manifest. Name, form, qualities, and of course, we should endure for Suddhanam. That is there. But that is not the only purpose. I keep focused on that. I keep focused on the service. So automatically, name of the Lord, form of the Lord, quality of the Lord, pastimes of the Lord, all these things are revealed by service. All the doubts are cleared. Prema Bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinash vedegai jahara charitu. So that Prema Bhakti, when we have Prema Bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jaite. There is no ignorance. All the knowledge is revealed to him, including the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. No one can become Krishna conscious simply by mundane scholarship. Very important. People who are behind jnana, books. No, the books of Bhagavad Gita is very tasty is because of the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Translation, and otherwise will be bewildered. If you have Bhagavad Gita without the translation of Prabhupada, you will be so bewildered. You won't understand anything. So one must be fortunate enough to associate with persons who are in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. So by realizing knowledge, one can become perfect. I'm trying to somehow complete this. So very important, by academic knowledge alone, one will be deluded. So I want you to work on one exercise tomorrow, comparing Ishopanishad sloka, identify the sloka in Ishopanishad, which talks about general mundane knowledge, and here Bhagavad Gita, which talks about even transcendental knowledge by scholarship. One must be fortunate enough to associate with a person. So sometimes they say that, you may even think, oh, Mataji and Prabhuji are very much close to Guru Maharaj. So they are always telling, okay, you listen to Guru Maharaj, you listen to pure devotees, you listen to Prabhupada, the purport Prabhupada is speaking, try to associate with him, so associate with the personalities, all these things. But see, directly Prabhupada is writing. First point number 1, this Bhagavad Gita is the science of Krishna consciousness. Bas ho gaya. No one can become Krishna consciousness simply by mundane scholarship. Even though Bhagavad Gita is there, by mundane scholarship you cannot. In 5th sloka, I know. 7th chapter, 4th sloka, I know. In 7th, 25th sloka, one time Guru Maharaj came to South India. In Kerala, everybody knows Bhagavad Gita by heart. They know every chapter, they know every sloka. Translation, some Bhagavad translation they know. Not very clear, mostly Mayavadis or impersonalist Brahmavadis. Only there. No. So then when Guru Maharaj came to Kerala, so the public were assembled. So we went behind Guru Maharaj and there was a beautiful session of a beautiful class kirtan. People were amazed. This is before Guru Maharaj stroke. And then such public crowd, simply by seeing him, public crowd will follow him here. Simply by seeing him, such a big crowd, there's no place to sit. There was Kalyana Mandapam, small Mandapam was very small hall behind a temple was booked. And the hall was full with even public. They all came simply to see Guru Maharaj, and so attractive. So that time, one person, the question answer session was there in the end. So Guru Maharaj was telling some pastimes and he has to finish quickly because by the time we reached itself, it was very late and there has to be prasadam. So he spoke on some sloka. After that, it was not Bhagavad Gita, I think Bhagavatam or something. Then one person, he raised the hand. Some 2-3 people asked the question, everybody quoted Sanskrit. This person raised the hand and he told, in Bhagavad Gita, in such and such chapter, 7th chapter, in 18th verse, Krishna, he is not telling, Krishna is telling. 18th verse, I want to discuss about it. Then Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj said, I don't know. I don't know. By heart. He openly said, I don't know. Does anybody has a Bhagavad Gita? Can you bring it? Let us check what the sloka is. So somebody ran and got the Bhagavad Gita. And so that person thought that it is a debate and this person is the expert in Bhagavad Gita. So somebody may even ask, Mataji, you're taking Bhakti Shastri. What is the 7th verse in the 6th chapter? I will say, I don't know. It may be even important sloka. But I may not know the number. So in Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is writing who is a Brahmana, who is a Vipra, and who is the Paramahamsa, who is the Parivrajakacharya. These definitions are given. Acharya, Parivrajakacharya, like this. In that, the mundane scholarship people are simply Brahmana or Vipra. That's all. So being scholarship will bring you proudness and nothing else. But when you get the knowledge from a pure devotee, then you read the scripture, you get devotional humility and devotional service. Because you become naturally become humble, yeah, because the marginal energy of Krishna, and there are unlimited marginal energy, and I am one among them. In fact, I am totally insignificant. Totally insignificant, and he is supreme personality of Godhead. Simply by understanding itself, by the pure devotee's mercy, like Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, we can know this. Not by reading books. I know this point by point, writing books in the point. No, not like that. It doesn't work like that. One must fortunate enough to associate with the person in pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge. Some people misunderstand pure consciousness. A person who is very humble, very pure, he doesn't talk much, he is very soft, and he is teaching all good principles. Don't tell lies, don't steal, don't hurt others, maintain very good relationship. Personality development course will be there. And there's Krishna is missing, Krishna consciousness is missing. That is not pure consciousness. A Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna. A Krishna conscious person, pure consciousness. Krishna is all pure. What is that called? Apava Vittam. In Ishopanishad is considered the greatest, purest of all. Apava Vittam. Simply, by remembering him or thinking of him, all things become pure. So a Krishna conscious person has realized knowledge by the grace of Krishna, but is satisfied with pure devotional service. The realized knowledge, one becomes perfect. So there are two things, information and realization. From the book, what you get is just information. But when what you get from a pure devotee is realization. So even while reading Srila Prabhupada's books, you have to know that Prabhupada is speaking to you in the purport. When you listen in that mood, praying to Srila Prabhupada by chanting his pranam mantra, and then praying to Srila Prabhupada to reveal what he wants to tell us, we want to know. Prabhupada, we want to hear from you through your books. Then you will be revealed everything. Everything. Prabhupada books, great treasure. And nothing to be read mechanically. How can you sit in front of a person mechanically where the Guru is sitting? For example, Guru Maharaj is talking to you. Can you be mechanically? No, you'll be naturally talking to him, no? Right? Same way Prabhupada is explaining in his purports. So by transcendental, so we should, when reading the books, mundane scholarship. I know this point in purport 5th, this point is there, Prabhu. You see the 7th purport, this is there, Prabhu. But instead, change your vision and see that it is not your school book or syllabus book to complete the syllabus, but it's Prabhupada sitting there and explaining the verse. The verse is very puzzlesome, and I cannot understand the translation directly. But Prabhupada is sitting there and he is explaining to me. This way, if you go through, then you will really get knowledge from Srila Prabhupada's books, the realized knowledge from Prabhupada's books, because he is satisfied with pure devotional service. So the realized knowledge becomes perfect. By realized knowledge only one becomes perfect. So by transcendental knowledge, sometimes I used to say IT technology, information technology. Prabhupada's books are information. I take many things from that and I just repeat it, and it's mechanical, so mechanical that is. And many people are trained like that by the school system. The school and syllabus and exams, they have trained us for 16 years. And the more one is educated, the more ignorant one is. If we say that somebody has done an IIT, IIM or something, and they studied, they're a big medical practitioner and doctor and this and that. The more they are materially educated, more foolish they are, because they are trained in that system so much. They are not trained in the spiritual system of Gurukula or sitting under trees, being submitted. They know that there is a volume of book and we need to write points from that and gather points and gain popularity. So this is the attitude which the education academic system brings. But the scriptures is not read in that way or approached in that way. The way the scriptures are approached, the Mahajanani in a Gatasa Pantha, great Mahajanas are there, they are showing the path. And through that path we are going and listening. And there is Parikshit is asking questions and Sukhdev Goswami is revealing, like that. So sometimes asking question is considered in academic system as offense, as I told you. So, but the entire Bhagavad Gita is question answer session by Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna asking question, Krishna answering. Same way, the entire Bhagavatam is only question answer, question answer, question answer. So people cannot understand how such things can exist, because they have a syllabus, and the question. And when you remember your school and college, you remember school. I'm studying maybe 8th standard. Now there's a book. How do I score? How do I score marks? In the book there are lessons. In science book, or some book, science book, there are 20 lessons, and in each of the 20 lessons each of the lesson gets 10 questions, and the question is on the end of the lesson. I have to go back to the lesson and mark the question, mark the answer, and then this question, this answer, this question, this answer, this question I write in a notebook, the question and answer, and then I mug it up and I vomit in the exam. After the exam, I get out, I forget everything, what I read, what I studied, what I wrote, why I wrote. I cannot ask questions. Already there are questions. Already there is book. And I just picked up the answer. Then I give you exercise. You people do it in this way. Then I understand that you're very well trained in your college and school. The more one is materially educated, the number one fool in spiritual is the number one fool. He won't get a proper knowledge from Krishna consciousness. So that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing a song, Vidyara Vilasi. I asked you to go through it even during Ishopanishad. So during Ishopanishad, there is one sloka which came how material education makes one a fool, like that. So by transcendental knowledge, which is submissively heard, served and heard from spiritual master, one can get realized knowledge. So by transcendental knowledge, one can remain steady in his conviction. So transcendental knowledge is one chapter, 4th chapter. What is that chapter talking about? Talking about Acharya Parampara. And Acharya Parampara can reveal the Supreme Personality of God, his activities and his appearance and everything. And then asking to surrender to spiritual master. That is the. And then the spiritual master will reveal everything to you. That is transcendental knowledge. But by mere academic knowledge, one can easily delude and confuse by apparent contradictions. So simply there will be vada, pradivada, tarka, all these things will happen. So whenever you have lot of tarkavada, you should understand that person is deluded by academic knowledge. Simply Prabhupada is telling, I have one thing to say to Prabhupada's purport. Nothing discussion, nothing argument. Of course, I discuss the sweet points. I have one thing to say to Srila Prabhupada to his purport. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like in army, when you meet the superior, salute. Yes, sir. That is the system. Adav Shraddha Tatassadhu Sangha. First is Shraddha, faith. Then the association with the pure devotee. So, and we can say that, oh, I cannot think on my own. Huh? Oh, I should agree whatever Srila Prabhupada says. Huh? You have thought on your own all these lifetimes. You have taken millions of lifetimes. You have been worm in the stool. You have been a tree. You have been into various species. And what comes out of your consciousness is all vomit and nothing else. And you want others to lick it. But when something comes out of your pure devotee's consciousness, it's all nectar. Are you ready? You think that you're equal in par with a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, and you think that I can equally give points in argument to Srila Prabhupada's purports. This is the greatest joke. So you are simply a comedian. Okay, the hero is Krishna, and he has sent his representative. So that is why it is said simply, you should not challengingly approach a spiritual master. You should approach the spiritual master submissively. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. The tattvadarshina will reveal everything to you, provided you are simple and submissive and understand you are fool number one. I don't have any point to tell, and if I tell some point, it is going to be very dirty. I can ask questions, but my own, from books you can say, from pure devotee's presentation. Oh, then only pure devotee will say, I have to tell that only. Why can't I add 2 of my points? The 2 of your point is the contamination. Like I serve you a beautiful feast. I am giving you only 2 spoons of sand. There's a nice beach. I'm taking very small spoon, 2 spoons of sand, and I'm mixing it with your food. Now enjoy the feast. Can you enjoy? A big thali, a very, 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 very big thali of food, prasada. Whatever I have given you food to eat, can you enjoy the food? Because there is a mixture. So every time the desire for my own points, I can explain it better. This kind of attitudes are always there. Submissively listening from pure devotee is a great. One has to get down from their so-called altar which they have set for themselves, and get down, and then they can get something. Then they will be revealed. Jnaninas tattva darshana. That submissive service to the spiritual master. That is how one should approach. In front of Prabhupada is writing in one of the purport. In front of the spiritual master, your greatest fool number one. How should you present to spiritual master yourself? I am fool number one. Amitu Kangala, Krishna Krishna Boli, Taiptava Pache Pache, O Vaishnava Takura, Dayare Sahara, Karuna Karomi. So just give me mercy, my dear spiritual master. This is how approaching. No, I didn't try to say that. I tried to say this. I actually already know, but still I'm trying to. This attitude will not work. So it is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled. So why we are getting that attitudes is because of our mundane training. Naturally, we are all right. Especially Indians are all right because they like to listen to the seniors. They like even childhood. They'll say, "Grandma, tell me story. Mother, tell me story." They would like to listen to superiors, which in Western countries is very, very difficult. They're so-called independent thinkers in double quotes. And that independent thinking will greed, envy, anger, uncontrolled mind, and the senses and sense gratification, all this enemy. The enemy will the production of a vomit. That is only is coming from the academic training which we have had, and what is revealed. But a pure devotee who is descended, Paramahamsa, the Hamsa is coming from the spiritual world, and it can give us the nectar. That is why we take Srila Prabhupada's books as it is. That's it. Nothing to argue. Yes, sir. And try to understand. If you don't understand, we can ask questions. That is different. But there is nothing to contradict. If somebody is contradicting, he is fool number one. He's trained so much in academic education and is simply proud and has nothing inside. It's an empty vessel is making so much noise. That is what is Nahi Rakshati Dukrum Karani. That will not save him during the time of death. Instead of that discussion, you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chant another 2 rounds. Go. Instead of that foolish argument over questioning Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, you can chant another 2 rounds. That will benefit you. So here, very, very nicely, Prabhupada has fried the academic knowledge. Mere academic knowledge, one can easily delude and confused by apparent contradictions. They'll see contradictions. So it is the realized soul who is actually self-controlled because he is surrendered to Krishna. He is transcendental because he has nothing to do with mundane scholarship. Take then what to speak of Bhakti, our Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He's illiterate. But he has learned very nicely from spiritual master. Take for example Haridas Thakur. He was a Muslim and he ran away from home. He didn't have a proper residence. He was roaming around. Then he was sitting outside Advaita Acharya's house and he was learning. And he's called Nama Acharya. And he's nobody but Brahma who has the Veda in his hand, who created the universe. So for him, mundane scholarship and mental speculation, which may be as good as gold to others, but no greater value than pebbles or stone. So here is the explanation. How the pebble and stone and gold are same, because the materialistic people, what they value, a pure devotee doesn't value it at all. Whatever materially people are valuing, if you go to Gujarat and all, they'll value certain things so much, money and all the things will be really, they'll say that if you require extra topping, you can. They have such business ideas. When you see that, how these people can think like this? How can one think like this? For example, I'm eating dosa. I have 1 katori of sambar. And they know that sambar is very tasty. And they'll put a strategic planning saying that we'll give a smaller katori of sambar. And we'll say that any extra katori you have to pay. Any extra cup of sambar you need to pay. So that they will be charged more. But when you come to any normal person's restaurant or anywhere in South India, there is very famous restaurant. They're not devotees, but see, there is a Ratna Cafe or something. They're very famous. Why they are famous is because they know that the people like sambar very much. So they give the dosa. And they say that sambar, big katori they give. And second katori is also free, third katori is also free. Somebody may simply drink sambar. Maybe that person is hunger and doesn't have money. Let him drink, so what? So what? Why it has to be charged? Why the topping of the ice cream has to be charged? They say that ice cream this much money, finish the business. No, ice cream is this much. This topping this much, this topping this much. A mixing of this much is this much. Value addition. Value addition. Starbucks. Starbucks. Like this. So the mental, for him, they don't have the. So whatever the material people value, a devotee doesn't value. You come to Mayapur, you say, Prabhu, little, in Gada Bhavan, go and eat the prasad. Go to Sulabh kitchen and eat prasad. I went there. I want to take very little rice. I really don't want rice. Little. Prabhu, little. And that little was so much. So whatever they value as gold, and that is like pebble. We don't care for it. There is no difference between what is valued by the materialistic people. And one pastime I'll tell regarding the same 10, 15 years, I really want to stop it. So one small pastime I'll tell, and we can finish this because it comes into my mind. That when the churning of the ocean was happening between demigods and demons, which came in this pastime is coming in Srimad Bhagavatam, where sometime the demigods will become weak. Then an arrangement will be made that they will churn the milk ocean, and then the nectar will come as a butter. They will come out and then they'll take it. So they were Asura and Deva, they were churning. It's a big pastime. When we go to Bhagavatam, we can read it nicely. Then many things will come out. Sun and the mouse will come, then Ganesha will take, a peacock will come, then the Skanda will take, and each one will take, and some another beautiful lady will come, then the Ashura will run behind her. Alcohol will come, Asuras will take it. Well, various things will come. Kamadhenu will come, then I think Indra will take it. I don't know. Somebody will take it. In this way, many things people are behind. And the beautiful Lakshmi Devi will come out, and immediately everybody will think she's like, everybody will feel motherly affection, and they'll feel like offering obeisances and worship. And they know that she's qualified only for Vishnu, and they'll want him to get married. In this way, they'll offer Lakshmi Devi too. So then I was thinking, how wonderful is this pastime? Nice. And later, when due to the churning sometime earlier, due to the churning, the snake, using a big snake, Vasuki, they'll be churning the ocean. So from the Vasuki's mouth and the body, some poison will be released, and the poison will disturb the churning process and all. So Lord Shiva will drink that poison, and only little spilt out poison. Earlier snakes and scorpions never had poison, and they also will drink in order to save the world, save the people, the Ashura and Deva, and also the Kalakuta Visha is very powerful. It can even destroy, due to this heat, it can destroy cities, and so powerful. By the heat only, it will destroy, poisonous heat. Then sometimes we used to put for cockroaches something. This cockroaches simply they faint, simply they die. So like that. So he drinks it. So I was thinking that how everybody took one thing. But what is the, and notice there, if we are there, we'll notice what a pure devotee takes. Mahajanani in Gatasam Panta. There are Mahajanas like Brahma, like Shiva, like Prahalad, Bali Maharaj. There are 12 Mahajans. So like that, and we follow in their footprints, not anybody and everybody. Okay, so then okay, we need to follow them. No, so in the Samudra Mardhan, who is the devotee here? I was just researching, and I just found how nicely the poison is taken by Shiva. Everybody took good items which were coming by the churning, but Shiva took the poison because there's no difference. And immediately Parvati came and stopped the poison to get inside from him. Then it stopped in the throat. So it's called Nilakanta. Iskanta. Nilakanta means the poison is in the blue color. So his throat became blue color. So he's very fair in complexion, Shiva. So that blue color was visible, that the poison. So I thought how he's not differentiating between a good item and a bad item. The poison is a bad item and that is a good item. I want a good item like that. So I was just thinking how a Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu, the Sambhu Shiva, so equally, is a pure devotee Vaishnava. How he is a Mahajana, how we can follow him in this, how wonderful it is, like that. This is one of the beautiful pastimes in which we can understand how they don't value. And one more pastime is there of Sanatana Goswami. If any of you think tomorrow, come up with how a devotee doesn't see the valuable gold or the stones. No, it need not be gold and stone comparison, but something which material people value, the devotee doesn't value. Whatever devotee value, the material people doesn't value. So you all have to come out with one example how the devotee what they values, the material people will not value, and what material people value, the devotee will not value. Come out with this example, and here we can finish. Any questions or comments? If you have, we can take it tomorrow also. But if you can stay back, you stay back, and at least till 10:30 we can stay. But I want you to go to sleep at 10:30. So we have another 4-5 minutes. Okay.
Mataji, one question, simple question.
Just a second. The volume is less. I'll just increase. Yes.
So in today, one of the slokas we read, once the devotee has conquered the mind, the super soul is reached. So that is same as the perfect stage of self-realization, which is the highest stages of the ladder. So both are same.
No. No, there is Krishna realization is there. No, you have to become a devotee of Krishna. The Paramatma is only the aspect. As I told you, Paramatma feature is realized by yogis, but Krishna is realized by bhaktas. So the highest of the ladder for Ashtanga Siddhi Yogi, that is the highest. Correct. For Ashtanga Siddhi Yogi, that is the highest. They don't know more. You understood?
Okay.
Correct. The highest stage of perfection for an Ashtanga Siddhi Yogi or Dhyana Yogi. They don't know more than that. They know only Paramatma realization. For them, it is the highest. But actually, in the ladder, that is not the highest. The ladder is attaining Krishna Prem, constitutional position. You, as a spirit soul, getting Siddha Dega. You'll be getting a Gopi form, Gopa form, you'll have Bhava, Prema, everything. That is the highest.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. You can put it in the group, or surely it will be open for questions tomorrow. So hope all of you know the exercise. Anyway, I'll put it in the group. Thank you very much. Let us offer our loving, respectful obeisances and to all the Vaishnava devotees, especially our Acharya Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva, and all Gaudiya Bhaktas to bless us in progressing in Krishna consciousness. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
गुरु महाराज की जय
जय
हरि गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल.
Thank you very much. See you. Come back with the preparation. Some in mind you prepare some pastimes or some examples. Hare Krishna. Nicely, maybe you can make a note of it and just 2-3 minutes I put. Some small pastime. Hare Krishna.